Welcome back to the Denver Sports Betting Show. I am Gilly the One, joined alongside my boy Shamlocks, my guy Dylan, and we have a brand new guest stepping on, Miss Taylor Sadusky. Miss Taylor, what's going on? Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Real quick, before we run through everybody, listen, we had a terrible wild card weekend for the Broncos. Terrible wild card weekend for the Broncos. Guys, before I even get into that, Taylor, let me rake you real quick. What do you do? Who are you? And what brought you here?
Little about me. So,
yes, just a little bit.
Born and raised out of Colorado. Love all things Denver sports. My Nuggets, my Broncos, Avs. You know, gotta love it for sure too as well. Went to CU. Been covering them forever, and just since then, just been in this scope of wanting to be like the next Aaron Andrews. So just trying to live my dream and just do the most. Worked for Sports Illustrated previously, and just trying to grow my brand out more. So yeah.
Sweet. You touched on a couple of things, right? We got CU. We're gonna talk about CU a little bit later on today, okay? And then also Colorado native. Shout out to these two not being natives, but I am born and raised Denver native as well. So let's go. Shout out Denver Sports Betting. Shout out to all Denver natives. Let's go.
Gotta love it.
Listen, let's jump right into it, man. We got the wild card weekend, boys. I don't know about you, but I didn't fare too well this weekend, man. Listen, the Broncos, real quick, they let us down. And the worst part about the Broncos game is they went into halftime tricking us that they had a chance and they had an opportunity, man. Did you guys feel that the same way that I did?
Felt like I had a chance when they were up 7-0. And it went downhill pretty quick. So, you know, we talked about it last week. I was on the Broncos, getting the 9. I thought Peyton coached a bad game, man. I mean,
Didn't he? He did, bro.
Like, he just is like, he talked about, like, I want to, control time of possession. And it's like, it ain't working. You got to scrap the game plan. So I was surprised. He pulled out the fake punt. That was great, but they still got nothing out of it. Broncos they just don't, they're undermanned. They overachieved this year. The future's bright. They got their quarterback, but they got to give Bo some help. He needs some more receivers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then, not to mention, the news came out that he was playing with like a fractured back and stuff and all that. I'm like, dude, like that's all the Broncos need now is something to linger on that. Dylan, how do you feel? How did you feel about that game?
I felt good. I mean, I was the only one here on Buffalo minus 8.5 last week, so I felt good. I mean, it was 10-7 going to the half. I thought Buffalo would get away with it in the second half. They did. Broncos didn't score again after that long 62-yard touchdown. So I felt good about it, but I don't feel too good about Buffalo going into this week.
I love it, dude. See, but Bills are frauds, man. Taylor, did you watch any of that game or no?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes.
All of it. I was so disappointed in it, but Nix is still the fix,
I'm saying, right? Listen, Nix is our guy. There's no question about it. As long as he stays healthy, man. Somebody got playing with broken bird. It's spinal. My back is broken. Like, bro, what? You're playing with a broken back, dog? Get out of here. Well, listen, on to new things and on to the next, man. Listen, we have another not the wild card week, but actually official playoffs now that really start. Let's run down the first games. Dylan, do you have any insight on? So, what's your favorite game you want to pick?
I'm going to take my favorite game. I have Baltimore -1.
Okay, Baltimore -1. I love it. Sham, let's run you real quick. What do you like out of this weekend?
Favorite bet of the weekend is Eagles -6.
Okay. Taylor, what do you like this weekend out of anything?
I got to go Eagles -6 too. I got to say, that one's really looking good to me.
Really? Okay. I love it. Let's start with that one first then. Sham, what are your reasons, man? Why you want, what's going on with the Eagles, dude?
Rams just seem really, really trendy. And while we watched that Eagles game, it wasn't an impressive performance. It did look a little rusty. Hurts look a little bit rusty. But I think this is the most complete team in the NFC.
Philly?
Philly.
Oh, man. Okay.
I think complete team. And I think the Sirianni hate has gone a little bit too far. I'm not saying he's a genius coach, but I think the hate's gone a little bit too far. They're the team that I can trust. And you looked at the Rams, they played on Monday night. I had the Rams, picked the Rams, but now short week, short rest. And I think emotionally, like there was a lot going on in that game with the fires and everything behind them having to move the game. And it's just, it's an angle that it's going to catch up with them, I think, a little bit with the travel and the weather forecast. They ain't pretty for Philly on Sunday. I mean, we're looking at some snow, some cold conditions. They're, Stafford going outdoors. I don't know where Cooper Kupp's been. He's been non-existent. So I like Philly. I think Philly rolls.
I was on the other end on that last game, man. I said LA, man. LA was free money, bro. Rams were free money. They were playing for LA. They were playing for their spot. And again, man, I think teams are a little nervous to play LA, but they're the sleeper for sure. No question. Dylan, what do you think about that game?
I'm going to go with actually the opposite there. I'm going to take the Rams +6.
I'm talking about, baby. Let's go.
You have Nakua, Kupp, Kyron Williams, and when they get inside the 20, Williams just really has a knack for finding the end zone. I mean, when the starters have been on the field for the Rams, they haven't allowed an opponent to hit double digits in points over the last 4 games. I really think their defense has really stepped up here at the end. They're going to be to slow Philly down a little, maybe slow Saquon down a little. And if they can do that, I mean, their offensive firepower is just as good as the Eagles.
You said slow Saquon down, man. I don't know if Barkley going to get slowed down, dude. That dude is running. Right now, he's like the second favorite for the MVP we're talking about, right? A little bit. So, I don't know, man. Taylor, give me some insight on that game. Why Philly?
Like I said, you cannot, like you're saying, you can't slow down Saquon Barkley. I think even though the Eagles are not the best team to me, I still would put the Ravens above them. But with that being said,
in the NFC.
Yeah. Perfect. But with that being said, I think this is not going to be the same matchup that we saw with Week 12. That 37-20 win that they had going on is going to be a whole different matchup. Rams are back. They are more just a really sizable, disciplined team. So with that being said, I think that they really can prompt for this to be a really good game. But with that, they still have so many key wide receivers, so many factors that Jalen Hurts can play with. And again, he was 13 of 21 against the Packers, But the Rams also held teams 4 out of 5. I mean, the Rams also held teams to 10 points in the last 4 out of 5 opponents. So I think with that being said, we're going to see a little bit of going back and forth with defense and offense positions. But I still think the Eagles can edge this out, because also in that Week 12 matchup, we also saw big mistakes being filmed too, with like Kyron Williams making some huge turnover keys and whatnot too. So I do see the Eagles just edging it out overall.
Give me Rams +6, man. I said I'm going the other way on you guys. I'm riding with you on that, man. 6.5 even better. If we can get to 7, I would buy the half point too. Get that touchdown. Okay, man. LA is doing it for LA, right? And again, that's part of my reason, man. It's like it's pure emotion at this point. LA +7, +6, +6.5.
They're playing
+6.
2 like road games back to back though. Glendale going off in the road.
Arizona didn't look like it was a road game though. Arizona looked like it was a road game.
It's going to look like a road game in Philly. It's gonna look
Like we said, nobody wants to go step in Philly, dude. Nobody wants to go to Philly, dude.
No, we won't get into that.
No, absolutely not, dude.
We all saw the video.
Yeah. Yes. Let's talk a little bit Texans and Chiefs real quick, right? We kind of just blew by that game. Again, I said last week, same thing. I think Chiefs are a little fraudulent. I think they've won just by little, hairs of your nose, so to speak, right? So I don't know if they can cover the 8.5, but I do. I think they'll win, but it's not enough for me to take. They're like -420, I think. Do you have any insight on that game? What do you think?
I think I was curious to get your guys' take. I think all these teams these lines seem kind of high to me. Like I thought the Lions line seems artificially high. This line
for totals and spreads.
Mostly for the spreads. I mean, 8.5, 9.5 points. The Chiefs and Texans, they played just a month ago, and the spread was 3.5 in KC, and now it's 8.5. And I haven't really upgraded or downgraded either one that much. That being said, I still think the Texans. I'm not really sold after what we saw against that Chargers game. I mean, Herbert throwing all the picks. They didn't really do much on offense, and I think what you see happen a lot of times is, these teams that don't play week 1 of the wild card, everybody kind of falls in love with the teams that win in the wild card.
The round. Dogs, right? And how can you not fall in love with Houston right now, right? How can you not? But they're going against KC. I just don't.
And again, another thing where the weather's going to play a factor. I think in the cold and the conditions we saw last year when Miami went there and they did not want to be there. They're another dome team, and I think you get them outside in the cold again. No Tank Dell. They're going to try to control clock. I think it is an under game, going to be a low-scoring game. I would lean more towards the under. I'm looking in high and low for a 42. So if I can get an under 42, that's where I'm leaning more than a side on this game. But if you had to pick, I'd say the Chiefs.
Oh, I love it, man. It's under 41.5. Taylor, what do you think about this game? Anything?
I'm definitely going to go for the under as well. I think the Chiefs will still win it all. But with that being said, they are just fraudulent, like you guys said. They almost got beat by the Broncos. Josh Allen edged them out. I think with that being said, they have a lot to not play with and just, be consistent. They can't give up anything at this point. So if they really want to edge it out and win this, they have to just keep it going.
Tay, you did your homework. I love it, man. You really doing what you do, man. I love it. Dylan, what do you think, man?
I have Houston +8.5 here. I mean, the Chiefs, 4 of their last 6 outings, they've been under 22 points. We saw C.J. Stroud with 282 yards, Joe Mixon with 106, under 429 yards of total offense versus a great Chargers defense last week. I think they're going to be able to put a little more pressure on the Chiefs this week. I know they're battling injuries, but at this point of the year, it's next man up, and you see that consistently in playoff teams. The next man just steps up. It doesn't matter if a guy's hurt. I think 8.5 is too big for this game right here, especially when they just played and it was 27-19 and Houston shot themselves in the foot with penalties and all types of stuff. So I like Houston +8.5 here.
I love it. Let's run on to the next game real quick. Commanders and Lions. Lions, I think, are winning the Super Bowl, but I want you guys just real fast, okay? Lions, did they cover the 9.5? Yes or no, Taylor?
I'm going to say yes.
I love it. Dylan, they cover.
They cover 9.5 and 13.5 too.
Whoa, you're doubling down, bro. I love it. Sham, what you think?
Again, like I said off the top, I'm surprised this line is as high as it is. When you look at Washington, all they've done is play close games.
Every single game is close, bro.
And it's down to the wire. Jaden Daniels has been phenomenal. Seems to break all the rules. But I still think the Lions, they're rested. They got that week off. And I think Washington, their luck, I said it last week, but we'll see. I think their luck finally runs out here, and this is a double-digit win for the Lions.
Got to go Lions, bro. Got to go Lions -9.5. Let's touch on this one. Ravens and Bills. This is the most close one, right? Now, me being biased, okay, I got a lot of hate. As TikTok's about to go down in flames, bro, I got a lot of hate about calling the Bills fraudulent, and I think that, listen, as a Broncos fan, you want to, I feel like, root for the team that beat you and get you out of the playoffs, right? We knew the Broncos didn't belong in the playoffs. We knew that, right? We had hope. We knew they didn't belong. Do I think the Bills covered? Do I think because this is the first time they're dogs at home, right? They're at home, right? No, they're at home.
It's in Buffalo.
They're at Buffalo. They're
9
dogs.
degrees and snowing at
plus
home.
1.5, and it's snowy. What do you guys like about this game, if anything? Totals, sides, what do we think? Sham?
I think Baltimore's the best team in the NFL.
So they cover.
It's it's a tricky spot. It's crazy. I mean, I can't believe.
It's 1 point.
I can't believe Buffalo's an underdog at home. I mean, that's like wild to wrap your head around, especially in the playoffs. We'll see again. Weather's going to play a factor. How Lamar copes in the cold. It's like 50 degrees, and he's got the big parka on, like it's 20 degrees. But I think the difference there for Baltimore this year is Derrick Henry, and you saw against the Steelers. I mean, they could just pound you to death. And Buffalo.
But it is the Steelers, though. It was the Steelers.
It was the Steelers. But I do think Baltimore is going to come out in this game. Like I said, they're my pick to win the Super Bowl. I still think it's kind of chalk, but I think what we've seen this year, it's been a lot of the favorites, and the cream rises to the top, and I'll take Baltimore.
Listen, and it's not necessarily, I mean, when you got a 1.5 favorite, it's not necessarily chalky, I feel. Dylan, what do you think about this game?
Baltimore's my favorite play of the week. I love Baltimore -1 here. We saw Henry with 26 carries, 186 yards last game. Buffalo all year has struggled to stop the run. You have Lamar and Derrick Henry. I feel like the cold's not going to play a factor. It's cold in Baltimore, too. It's cold up there, too. I feel like it's not.
Yeah, Lamar ain't no stranger to cold, man.
Yeah,
exactly. No, my MVP.
Exactly.
No, he ain't no stranger.
I like the Ravens -1 here. I just think they're the better team. And if Zay Flowers is active, that just gives Lamar another wide receiver. I mean, he hasn't thrown an interception in 2 months.
Is Zay supposed to be back?
He has 4 interceptions all year. So.
Harbaugh said he could play without practicing, so potentially.
Yeah, Zay's good enough to play without practice, for sure.
Maybe.
What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's just a fun game overall. You have MV3 versus MVP, seeing what's going to happen with that. So I think if they can really lock in and just see what they can do. Again, Derrick Henry did lock in almost 200 yards and 24 carries in that week 4 that they did match up. So that's going to be huge to stop him. If they can just keep him down. I mean, this is just such a close race. You have Lamar Jackson, who has 5,000 yards on this season total, and then Josh Allen, 4,200 on this season, too. So it's just neck and neck with them, and they're so talented either way. But I think with the margin being so close, that it's just not that big to come up on. So I think it's going to be something different.
Listen, like I said, Josh Allen, like I said, man, I still don't think he's the real deal, man. 8 years he's been favored to win the Super Bowl ever since he's been in the league, okay? Give me Lamar Jackson all day, every day. Give me the Ravens -1.5. Let's go.
Wait,
okay.
Josh Allen is the real deal, but you're sold on Bo Nix already?
It's because we've been starving. We've been starving for so long in Broncos country, dude.
I get it.
And yes, my guy played with a spinal broken back, dude. Okay, get out of here.
It's going to be a great game. I'll tell you, this Ravens game and Buffalo.
Oh, it's going to be no question. It's going to be a show for sure.
Yeah.
It should be a show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Prime
guys,
time Sunday. It's the best game of the weekend.
We're going to go ahead and be right back. We're going to continue with our $25 parlay. We still haven't came up with a name for this thing yet, but we're going to come back, give you guys each of our 3 to 4 leg parlays, $25, get a lot of money in your pocket, get money, get paid. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Denver Sports Betting Show, presented to you by CD's Wings, the #1 wing place ever in Colorado. No question about it, guys. We're going to give you our $25 parlay picks now, and I am leaning on these guys to make us some money, get us paid, and get us through this week, okay? Dylan, I'm going to start with you first, man. Give us a 3 to 4 leg parlay that you think is definitely hitting.
All right, this is $25 to win 205, plus 720. Khalil Shakir, 6+ receptions. Zach Ertz, over 28.5 receiving yards. And Kyron Williams, anytime TD.
Okay, I like it. Sham, what you got, man?
I've got the most boring, chalkiest parlay out there.
But let's be fair, though. I mean, you're not necessarily like a big. I feel like you're not a big parlay guy.
I'm not a parlay guy.
Right. So I get it.
I would say I'm a straight bet guy. Boring. But I like to win money. So
Yes.
here's where we're going with our parlay. Again, like I said, it's boring, it's chalky, but it's and I know one of these teams is going to lose, and I'm going to lose this bet. But Lions on the money line, Chiefs on the money line, Eagles on the money line. It's pretty much even money. There it is. Yeah. You tell me one of those teams is going to lose. Which
I don't
one's
know.
gonna lose?
I can't tell you which one. I think they're all going to win. So
So there you go.
Taylor, what do you got?
25 turns into 50.
Double up your money. A double money is a good day. Double money is a good day.
It's cheaper than 110.
I guess. Well, okay. Taylor, what do you got? What do you give us some grief? Give us some.
Let it be known, never like parlayed in my life. But with that being said, if I were to, I would say that I would do the under on Jared Goff doing 0.5 interceptions.
So no interception. I love it. Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs going over with 82.5 rushing yards. Pacheco over on 43.5 rushing yards. And then Eagles covering the spread against the Rams.
Okay. All right. No, I don't like the Eagles. I don't like that. Sham, break it down, man. Let me see. Okay, so you picked all the favorites.
I took the chalk. All right, but
You're L7, dude. Are you serious, bro?
here's why.
The Chiefs alone, they're like plus 500. I mean, minus 500.
That's why I parlayed them.
You're sick.
Here's the thing. What we said. I said in the first segment, like a lot of these teams in the wild card round, they've teams fall in love with them. They think, oh, this team is better than we think. But there's a reason why these teams earned the bye. Why they didn't play week 1. So when you look, I'll give you some stats on you, Gilly. In the last 20 years, teams that won as an underdog in the wild card round are 7-28 straight up. Since 2011, they're 2-20. There's been 2 teams that have won. So who falls into that? It's Texans, Rams, and Commanders. I'm going to fade those 3 and double my money. What do you want?
Listen,
What do you want?
I fully agree with you, man. Listen, I think on the Texans game for sure, because I would have. It pains me to say this, man, but I would have rather had. I would have rather had the Chargers in that place. I feel like they would have played KC a little bit harder.
I agree.
Texans. I mean,
Who loses out of those 3? You still think the Rams?
I mean,
You're right.
ultimately, man, I see the. I see the Rams. Ultimately, I see the Rams winning. I see them taking it, and I think they're the sleeper here in the playoffs. The Rams are the ultimate sleeper team.
I think they're really trendy.
Yeah,
And
I
look
mean,
at you. You're trendy, so that makes sense.
Don't call me bro. Plus 1,600 to win the Super Bowl. Let's go, Dylan. Break it down, man. Let's see what we got, man. You got a lot of good player props.
Yeah,
and I
got Ertz over 28.5 receiving yards. Since week 10, he's averaged 39 yards per game. They're 10-point underdogs. If the game script follows that, they're going to be down. They're going to have to pass that ball. You're going to see him cutting under a lot of the secondary. Jaden Daniels getting it to him. I like Khalil Shakir over 6+ receptions plus 130. He had 6 last week. I mean, he's averaging over 5 receptions per game this season. You see Baltimore runs a lot of single high coverage. I think for a receiver like him who's really speedy and shifty, did kind of under that safety, I think he's going to be able to do that, and they're going to try and target him a lot. And again, I favor the Ravens here. It kind of favors the game script, and I like that a lot. And then Kyron Williams, anytime TD. Like I said, once the Rams get inside the 20, they just have a knack. He just has a knack for finding the end zone, and I think he finds it here.
Let me see, Kyron Williams, bro. What is his odds by himself?
Minus 115.
So it's minus 150, just anytime TD.
Yeah, minus 115.
That's actually not bad at all,
it's
man.
not.
Yeah, that's you did some studying on this $25, man. I like it. Taylor, break it down. What, Sham? What you picked all favorites, bro. You over here throwing these up, bro? What is this? What you picked all favorites, all chalky, bro. So if you hit, give me that $25 for 50. Get it. I'm coming. You call me trendy, bro. I can't believe you did that, man. So let me. Finally, I have to give Dylan some grace here. Usually, I'm always like, oh, it's Shamlock. Nah, bro, not today, baby. Not today. It's Dylan's show. It's the Dylan show today, boy. Okay, Tay, talk to me. Talk to me. What we got? Okay, so why? Give me some reason. I need some reasonings here. Okay, listen.
This is my logic. I'm going through it right now. So Jared Goff, he hasn't thrown a back-to-back interception since week 2, week 3, and then on top of that too as well, Washington's only racked up like 7 interceptions all season. So with that being said, the odds of that are kind of weighing it out. And then 2, Eagles covering that. They're 12-6 against the spread all season. Rams are the first, and this is the Rams' first playoff win since 2021. So it's been a long time coming. And with that being
as Sham would say, it's trendy that they're winning. They happen to win just because they're fighting for their lives in LA.
It's
right?
cute right now. It's cute right now. But yeah, it's all part of the
it's got to come to a heat though. Like there's no way like I said, it's Detroit show. It's got to be Detroit show. Continue. Sorry, continue.
So yeah,
What was the third one?
Lake 3, Jahmyr Gibbs going over 82.5 rushing yards. He averages over 100 yards in the last 3 games alone. And then all these were all wins, too, and he was close to 20 carries per game with that. And then with that, too, the Commanders' rush defense ranks 29th and gives up an average of 137 yards in the run game. So I think he can really get it done, too, as well. And then the last part of my parlay, Pacheco, over 43.5 rushing yards. He did have that rib injury. And they sat him against the Broncos, and they had enough time to rest up. And I think with that being said, him sharing touches with Kareem Hunt can be a huge thing in this process. So.
Kansas City in the run game, man, they get on my nerves with how they run that, how they run their run game. Like, again, another thing why I think they just barely skate by. But again, do playoff Kansas City show up, right? Do they cover that spread? I don't know, man. I don't think they do. Listen, let's go to me. Let's cruise on to me, okay? It's me show now. This is the Gilly show, baby, okay? Listen, we got Baltimore, okay? We got Baltimore straight up. Let's go money line. Let's go Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown, okay? Let's go, I'm going to save this one in a second here. Let's go Jahmyr Gibbs, anytime touchdown, minus 240. You talk about chalky. That's kind of chalky. The Ohio State, they cover, minus 8.5, okay? Now, listen, I kept it all NFL until that one, okay?
You just hit me right here.
I know I did, okay? I know. But listen, there's no part, you're a man of money making, and there's no part of you that says that Ohio State cannot cover. And I know it. You're smarter than me, right? You bet with your mind and your heart. We'll cruise on over to college football here in a little bit. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. No question. But I think the Ohio State covers, and they're a juggernaut, dude. They're going to take care of business. Guys, we'll be right back, and we are going to cruise right into college football. And then we're going to talk about the forte of Miss Taylor, because she is actually actively involved with CU, with the bus, with Deion, with those guys. So I'm very interested to hear what she has to say. Stay tuned with us, guys, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Denver Sports Betting Show, and now we are going to be talking college football playoffs, baby. The time is here. Sham's favorite, okay, his boys Notre Dame, the Gold Caps, are back in action, bro. They are the dogs, as I said previously. I think the Ohio State covers, and they take care of business. Sham, before I come to you, Dylan, what do you think about that game, man?
I'm taking Notre Dame plus 8.5. Go look anywhere on the internet. There's not a single soul taking Notre Dame. No one believes in them. But for them, it's offensive by committee. Jeremiah Love, Riley Leonard, Jadarian Price, all these guys over 730 yards rushing all year. You see Ohio State, you see the teams they struggle against, like Michigan, who they struggled against, who runs the ball and has a good defense. Ohio State, they played Texas, has a great defense, but they haven't played a defense like Notre Dame yet. And I think this line's just too high for a national title game. This isn't TCU, this isn't Washington, this is Notre Dame. Been one of the best teams metrically all year.
Yeah.
Of course, they lost to NIU, but look at these past 2 weeks, the teams they've beat, and then look at Ohio State. I mean, I just feel like Notre Dame has less bad losses than Ohio State, and I feel like Notre Dame really has a chance to stay in this game, especially if they get the run going early and the defense puts pressure on Will Howard.
Listen, I had them last week, but again, man, they ran it up to a 3-point win, man. So I don't know, against OSU. I don't know. Stop, pause, Sham. I'm not coming to you yet. I'm going to let you hold your tongue a little bit longer. Tay, do you have any insight on this game?
I got to go Ohio State. I don't know. Notre Dame just is not doing it for me. I think they have to be seriously so perfect. They can't let up anything. They can't mess up anywhere. I think Ohio State has more room to just make a little bit more mistakes here and there. Again, you brought up their defense. It is really elite, too. They can pass rush really good with the coverage on that, too, as well. And they play a lot of man-to-man. So I think with that, too, as well, they are without a top cornerback, but they still have 4 other ones that can cover. And when you play man-to-man, you actually have an extra safety, an extra linebacker, and you don't need to use to be in the zone. And their rush defense is also really good too as well. But going against Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and then the other ones, plus you have a tight end that's really good too, and then running backs who are also dual threats and can catch. I think that Buckeyes have it. Plus they're 4-1 against the spread, and I'm sticking with that.
Sham, your turn, baby. What you got, man? Come on, man. You were grinding your teeth. First, you're all happy because Dylan's like, oh,
no. I tell you, I said it last week before Penn State game. I was nervous as hell going into Penn State, and I'm nervous for this one too.
Do they cover?
What did I say last week? What did I say last week? I said, the injuries make me nervous, and you lose your left tackle against Penn State. After the quarterback, that's one of your most important positions. So
yes.
This team, but they just continue to get it done. I said Jeter would be the difference. He makes the game-winning field goal. I said that Franklin would turtle.
You did.
He turtled. You pressured Aller. He makes that pick. So that said, though, again, Ohio State, though, they are a different animal. On offense, Taylor made a great point about how Notre Dame plays man. When we've seen Ohio State struggle, they've gone, it's against zone teams. Michigan plays zone, Texas plays zone. First of all, Texas, I got to say this. Texas should be in this game, Sark. Let me ask you a question. I got to do a little demonstration here. I brought this football. All right. If it's 1 yard to go from here to there, what is easier to get there? Is it to go like this and quarterback sneak it? Or this might even pick it up. Or is it to go over here, all right? And then we're going to run 6 yards this way and then try and get into the end zone. They had 4 plays to go 1 yard. Sark, what are you doing? Anyway, back to this game. All right, so Notre Dame.
I love it. I love the energy, dude, because I'm telling you, bro. I was out of my seat, dude. So it's because you and I were on an island, bro, and like everybody was on it.
Dude,
and again, like I said,
like this game.
Yes. Yeah, well, yes, but again, this is the juggernaut of the
Nobody is
here.
still giving Notre Dame credit, still saying, they didn't play anybody. I feel like this is a game where it's one of those games where you see Notre Dame wins it outright or an Ohio State cover. I don't see this being like a rock'em sock'em game. All of a sudden, Ohio State wins by 3. That said, the Irish, they continue to prove everybody wrong. They've covered 11 games in a row. 11 games in a row they've covered. Everybody continues to doubt them. 13-2 against the spread. Notre Dame, wake up the echoes. It's 1988. It's been too long. National champions, Marcus Freeman. He's got these guys believing. He's got me believing.
And Riley Leonard throws 30 picks this time.
He doesn't need to throw the ball. What Ohio State's biggest weakness is, we saw when they struggle is they've kind of got goaded into running the football. Again, you talk Jeremiah Smith, best wide receiver out there. Notre Dame's going to try to get them to run the football.
Yep.
Lou Holtz called them out last year, says it's not physical. Like they won on the last play of the game last year. That game was a defensive battle. I think Notre Dame's got the better defense, even with the injuries. Irish are getting this done.
Listen, I take, like I said, Ohio State, the juggernaut, right? I say that, and I'm flip-flopping from last week, no question.
It's trendy, so.
Damn, really? That's how we're going to do me like that,
The
dude?
word of the show. I love it.
Unbelievable, bro. This is, okay, I guess I asked for it, I guess, man. I don't know. Like I said, give me OSU. I think their defense is a lot better. Well, not a lot better. I think they're better than Notre Dame. Ultimately, defense, once again, it's going to come down to that.
And again, I'm going to pick on Will Howard again. Like we saw, this guy is like you pressure him, you force him into mistakes. That's going to be the difference. Notre Dame, if they can get a turnover, flip the field, play ball control, and Marcus Freeman in the middle 8, he is the middle 8 master. When you look at the difference, I got to pull up this number because when I saw it, I'm like, this is ridiculous, and this is why they've succeeded in the middle 8. Notre Dame this year, 148, their opponent's 17.
That's kind of nuts.
It's crazy.
That is
crazy.
That's a number right
That's
there.
exactly what got them in the game, back in the game against Penn State. They got the field goal right before half. They came down, scored a touchdown, boom, tie game. Penn State's like, what happened?
Taylor, is this guy talking me in to taking Notre Dame at this point? Are you talking me into that, bro?
He sold me with the prop and everything. Not fully though, but that was a great. I like that.
Different kind of prop.
If you think the offense gets rolling early and they jump out to like a quick 10-0 lead and it's 10-0 at halftime, say, they can just play defense and grind out the clock. Like one of the best defenses. Of course, it is Ohio State. They have tons of weapons, but it makes it a lot easier to kind of control the game when you're up. So if they go up, I think it's going to be a lot easier for them to pull out a win and cover because they'll be able to control the clock more.
Plus 290 on the money line, though, is nice, bro. That's kind of screaming my name. That's my forte, right? Talk about trendy.
I'll throw that in my parlay.
Dude, you should.
I'll throw that in my parlay. We'll make it for. I've got the big future on Notre Dame, but I'll throw that in my parlay.
You should have thrown it in there, man. I said plus 290 is
pizza.
Juicy. A little more wings. Shout out to CD's wings.
Shout out to CD's wings. Like I said, I think this is the first game, though. I think Notre Dame, the coaching staff is incredible, and this is the first game that I think they've kind of, they're pretty even when it comes to coaching staff. Like I said, Al Golden and Denbrock on the Ohio State guy, Chip Kelly on the offensive side, and Jim Knowles on the defensive side for Ohio State. It's going to be a chess match. Total's only 46.5, so you don't, to see any kind of blowout when you're expecting a low-scoring game. I think Notre Dame's going to grind this one out.
Give me the under. You said that 46.5, I believe, is what the under slated at right now. Big money's on the under right now.
Remember last week the under? It was all good until the fourth quarter when both teams scored like 20 points in the fourth quarter. I mean,
I hit the live under because I thought it was going to go to overtime. I'm like, we gotta hedge against this a little bit.
Yeah, it's the big money right now is currently on the under 46.5. I think it's like 65% of that handle is on the under right now. So you know me, sometimes I like to ride with the public because the public is not necessarily the public anymore. There's so many sharps out there that are considered in that handle, in that public form. So let's cruise on over to something that I'm extremely passionate about. And the big news that's been going on is our boy Deion Sanders is currently in the news talking about he's a favorite right now to go to Dallas and be the head coach over there. I think his odds are a plus 100 right now. Taylor, your opinion. Do you think he's going to go? Do you think he's going to stay in Colorado? What's your opinion? What do you think? How do you feel?
I personally think that he's going to stay out here. I think he's built something great in Boulder in this whole entire state too. I mean, he's pretty much turned the sports world around and just brought so much attention to it. So I think he doesn't want to leave that. I know he's being pulled in so many directions right now. You have Stephen A. Smith, Michael Irvin being like, we see him in Dallas. We see him anywhere else besides Boulder.
And let's pause because Stephen A. Smith, right? Like this dude be yapping all. Like he, of course he wants Deion in Dallas.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want him in there, right? But I don't know. I mean, do you think he'd be successful in the NFL? Right? I mean, I think Deion will be successful in anything he does, right? Personally. But do you think he would find? Because again, the NFL coaching is night and day from college. So do you think he would find success there, or it would take him some time to find success?
I think
if he went.
I don't know. I think it just depends. He's such an old soul when it comes to just not wanting to go with older guys and like the whole money, how it comes into it. But now with NIL in the picture, he's not a big fan of that. That's why Saban left in the first place too, and that whole entire situation broke out. So I think he just wants to build and just kind of grow men into like being men and just build them up to like, even if it's not the NFL, it's other places in life too as well. So
yes, he's a mentor. That's who he is. Like you look at his Twitter every day, you look at his ex every day.
He's mentored me before too, literally, without even knowing. So I'm just like,
exactly. There's the souls that he touched. Right? I think it's too big for him because for him to go into the NFL and start coaching grown men right at this point, even though they're still younger, right? But still grown men, right? College, it's a whole different ballgame, right? Yeah. Dylan, what do you think about this, man?
Oh, I think he stays. I mean, you just saw a few days ago he was gonna the slides, no slides for the next year. So I don't know why he would implement those rules if he doesn't plan on staying. But if Jerry Jones throws you an ungodly amount of money, I couldn't blame him for not turning it down. So
I don't think money, like we know Deion, right? I said this money, we get it, right? But I still don't I think that he's at a place now to where he has enough. He's seen that both of his kids probably go to the league, right? And I think he's content with that, right? With that part of his life and coaching his kids. Because he went on record saying that he would coach his kids if they went to the NFL. But dude, I would hate. Would you hate it to see like if he would have Shadir and Travis Hunter would have went to like the Raiders or something? Oh, bro, I would have been disgusted, dude.
I have a question for you. If Deion coaches the Cowboys, do they try and trade up for the number 1 pick?
You would have to. Jerry would throw whatever he needed to, right? Because there was no. He would. Yeah, there's no question they would. What's your feelings on it?
I don't think it happens.
Perfect.
He's meant for college. Like we've been saying. Look, we've seen Saban go to the NFL. Greatest college and a coach of all time, didn't work out. Urban Meyer went to the NFL, didn't work out. It's a different game, and I think Deion, he's done such a good thing here at Colorado and turning that program around. But you do it with players, you do it with attitude, and he isn't like a big time X's and O's guy. I mean, he's relying. He knows the game, but he's relying a lot on his coordinators. He had success at Jackson State because he had D1 players. He had Travis Hunter and Shadur at an FCS school, and then he came to Colorado, brought some players in through the NIL. So I think he's meant for college, just like Marcus Freeman. They're talking about him going to the Bears. I think he's another guy that is meant for college. And I don't see him leaving. He might get a little extra money out of the deal. We talk about money here to stay in Colorado, but I just don't see it. Who I think will be the next coach of the Cowboys, though, and he's at plus 550, is Cliff Kingsbury. I think he'll be the next guy.
Why not Bill Belichick? Why not Bill? Jerry?
No way. Jerry and Bill, no way. No way.
They're two old heads in a pod, dude. Shout out to the old heads. I'm not no disrespect. I'm just saying
it's like the two guys in the Muppets, Stadler and Waldorf. They're just complaining. No,
they're two peas in a pod, bro.
No, he's going to bring in an offensive guy, I think. And you look at the odds right now of the top 5 guys. Deion's even money, which I don't see it.
That's crazy, right? Like
even money is
some money grind,
crazy.
dude. That's nuts. That's nuts already.
If there was a Deion versus the field, I would take the field. field.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like I
Yeah.
said, and they're not going to implement that. That's the catch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look, you heard it here first, folks. Come on, baby. We're all in agreement. Dion ain't going nowhere, baby.
not going
Let's
anywhere.
go. Listen, we think he ain't going nowhere. I think he's staying in Colorado. He's built something
Cliff
great.
Kingsbury plus 550.
I love it. Let's go, man. Taylor, before we skip on out of here, I want you to give yourself a plug. Where can the people find you and locate you?
I'll look into this camera
Yeah,
right here
go
and
ahead.
give it to him. Okay, so find me on Instagram, Royalty. Oh my gosh, can't even say my own plugs. Royalty JDS on that. Check out my YouTube, Taylor Sadusky, and then my Twitter for anything CU Buffs, Nuggets, anything like that is Taylor J Sadusky on there. So make sure to check me out.
Perfect. Real quick, I'm gonna put you on one quick. The Nuggets play Houston Rockets tonight. What do you think? They think they win? Nuggets?
Of course,
Let's
you saw
go.
that. You saw Jamal. We saw Jamal go off. I think he's ready for round 2. So let's see
go.
what happens.
Big matchup tonight. Serbian versus Singun, Turkish.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be. They always love to play each other. They always play each other well. I'll be interested to see.
Dude, Nuggets are like a 1-point favorite. Like
It's gonna be close. Rockets have been surprisingly good this year. It's the defense though.
Yeah, dude, they're a scrappy team. Guys, once again, thank you for tuning in to the Denver Sports Betting Show. We'll see you guys next week. Follow us on all outlets and especially YouTube, guys. Listen, shout out to not Notre Dame. Man. Let's go.
Go Irish.
Get money, get paid. We'll see you guys next week.